Hey y'all. So we've got an update or an upgrade, I guess, to our sawmill setup. We've got a metal. Sorry, getting a little tongue tied. We got a metal shed over top of this, and the few times I've milled on it so far, it's been nice. It's blocked. It's blocked the wind so that the sawdust doesn't come back up in my face so bad. And it's a great. Now the sawmill is covered. We got the logs out there, a couple are just kind of propped up off to the side right now. Some cherry logs that we got. We're going to bring them in. We're able to just open up those gates, set everything here, and then there's room in here to where we can back the truck up and just load everything back in the truck or tractor, whatever we need. We can just grab it and go. It's a really nice upgrade. This is something we had talked about doing, I don't know, from the beginning, I guess. We've had the mill for four years, going on 5 years, I guess, 4 or 5 years. But nice addition. We're able to do everything we need to here. So, like I said, we can kind of have our staging area over here, move things around, have it all on pallets if we need. That way, once we take stuff off, it just comes over here and sits, and then we can bring the tractor here and haul it off. But it allows us to open up those gates. We keep our logs out here. We're going to be setting up the logs differently. I think we're going to get a little bit more of a setup where they stay off the ground a little bit more. And the tricky part is it is in the middle of the cattle field. So sometimes the cattle will come over and push on them or kind of scratch on them. And we have had them roll down the hill before. Thankfully, no cattle have been injured in that incident. But we are going to, we are going to set up something a little bit better. But bottom line, the system here now to be able to have the mill, I got the Wood-Mizer LT15. The only downside, I do some portable sawmilling. When we do portable sawmilling, the tongue, or the I don't know if that's the correct term on that, but the where the hitch is, we just have to kind of pivot it around, and it has 4 large bolts that go back onto it to tighten it all down. But the majority of the sawmilling I do is here on site. This is my in-laws' place. We do all of our milling over here instead of over at the house. It just works better for us this way for now. And me and one of the boys are going to try and get some logs milled up. However, we are 1 day away from a cold weather hitting the Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, that whole region. So the cold weather has really kicked in, and it's coming a little bit more out of the north. So we're actually getting more wind in here today than normal. It's coming, the wind's coming at a slightly different angle than we typically get it. So we're getting more wind in here at the mill today. Typically this wall right back here behind me blocks most of the wind where it comes out of the west. So I don't know how long. It's cold just keeping my hands without gloves right now. I think we're only going to get a log or 2 milled up, but we're just going to work on some cherry and probably do it in 5/4, which if you're not familiar with sawmilling or lumber, that's essentially like an inch and a quarter is 5/4. I've gone to milling more. Instead of doing 4/4, I've gone to a lot more 5/4. Just gives me a little bit more room to work with if I'm trying to mill it down to something 3/4 inch thick and I want really nice tighted joints. You can do it with 4/4. It just gives me a little bit more flexibility with the 5/4. Okay, so we got a large cherry. Pretty good check in this. We tried to get it straight across there with the blade as possible. That's what I was hoping. That's pretty good. for us, especially without, you know, with a LT15 that's about as good as you're going to get. It's I think about an 8-foot log. I don't have a tape on me right now, but that's a good 22 inches on the small end. In hindsight, I would have spun that around. For anybody, most people that saw that I know or that mill, they like the small end to be on the operator side, with the large end at the end. But either way, works pretty good. We're going to have, this mill is really only able to do 24-inch wide. This section right here definitely won't run. So what I'm going to try to do is cut some slices off the top, and then we'll have to roll it and keep progressing from there. That's how you do some of these bigger logs that are technically larger diameter than what is shown on the specifications of the machine. At least that's the way I've done it over the last handful of years. Okay, so we got this roped into our cant. This is I think about a 15 by 15 piece of cherry right now, roughly 8 foot long. I think a little bit less than that. We get a lot of our trees from a friend of mine. He's got a tree service company, A-rated tree company in the Kentucky area. But let me throw some water on here. Here. All right, let's see what this looks like. There we go. Some pretty lumber. Got some water thrown on it just to show you what the color looks like once it cures out. That's pretty close to what the color is going to be. Some pretty cherry, some cool figure. I kind of like this right here, this little wave it's got right there.